Welcome back everyone to the Alaska Woodyard. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jill.
Well, as you may have seen in Jill's video, I'm back from the lower 48 to see my new grandson. Got a beautiful baby boy, doing very well. So I'm more than excited to be a grandparent.
And did you spoil him?
I did not spoil him, maybe a little bit. My daughter says that he's missing me pretty bad. So in the last video, Joe was doing some work here in the yard, and she did get quite a bit done while I was gone, so I'm pretty fortunate. So after getting back today, down in the lower 48 my brother is, they got about 48 to 50 inches of snow a couple days ago up in upstate New York. They're in northern New York in the snowbelt area, the Tug Hill Plateau. Say that 3 times fast. And I was there just a couple days before. Beautiful weather, went for a walk in the woods, no snow. And here today, we have got 35 degrees and we have very little snow. We have had a lot of wind the last 3 days since I've been back, so we haven't been able to do too much outside until this afternoon. And it gets dark quick here, as you can see here at 2:30 in the afternoon. It's getting near dusk already, so at 4 o'clock it will be dark. That's the only downfall with living in Alaska. That's part of our hardship. So as we said before in our channel, there's a few hardships here in Alaska that we have that you don't have in the lower 48. Not that we can't get things done, but it just takes a little longer. It gets darker quicker, so the days have to be planned out and run a pretty tight schedule in winter to get anything done. Yesterday we got 2 loads delivered right local, and that was about our day. Light at 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock we get loaded, and at 4 o'clock it's dark. So this afternoon, as you can see, it's starting to get a little bit darker around. Jill did get some work done while I was gone. As you can see on her Samurai, she got over a cord of wood cut. We're going to go in a little bit of detail when we go back in this evening. We're going to have a sit down and go over some of the specs on the cost of the Samurai 700 made by Balfor, where you can get one, a little bit about it, and how we found out about it, and if it would be useful to your firewood business or not. It's basically a hydraulic driven buzz saw, which is much safer than the old stationary belt driven buzz saws back in the day when I was growing up. So let's take a little quick walk around the yard here and I'll show you what Jill's gotten done. Stay with us. So Jill got a little bit of birch cut, and we're in the process of moving the processor over to start another pile. I'll take you around here, give you a quick shot. She got a little bit of the wood stand wood has been doing very well, so we just cut up a couple dry spruce for that this afternoon before we move the machine over. So Jill's going to get that loaded up and start bundling tonight in the garage. We'll take a walk over here. She's got about 3 to 4 full cord cut up here. We sold a cord of this yesterday dry, so I took a little bit out of her pile, but she did get some work done with the processor, even though it was cold. And take a walk over here, and she has been working the Samurai. There's some more of the beetle kill dry spruce that she'll cut up for her wood road stand. I'll give you a quick view of the pile here. This is all smaller birch, but it's nice wood. She just splits it all in half so it dries nice, but she's got over a full cord there. And if you saw in her previous video, she cut all that up and split that basically in about five hours by herself. I'll give you another quick shot here in case you haven't seen the other video. This is the Balfor 700. Samurai is the model, 700 Samurai. It's PTO driven off the tractor, the old 1949 Oliver high crop. Jill's favorite tractor. It runs very nice. So it just has a safety control lever, she said. Comes down, kind of clamps the log. See if I can do this in one hand. Then the saw pulls through. So that's a carbide 28-inch saw blade. It does not have replaceable teeth, but you can get them sharpened, but they are carbide. So it'll last a very long time. It's in metric, of course, being from Italy, but it works nice. We're going to build a little heavier table for it. We're kind of using it for bigger wood. It will saw up to a 10-inch diameter wood. Here we've got some 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch wood. It handles it nice. Get the knots trimmed up and cleaned up, and it'll be ready to run through. And while I'm out here, I'll show you what I picked up this week. So here we have some birch saw logs. I just picked these up off a job, and there's some beautiful grain in some of these. So we just saved these. Probably won't be sawed until next spring now. This is all the small end. I stack them all the same way so I can load them on the sawmill. So as you can see, Jill has been pretty busy here this week. Take a walk over and show you the little wood pile that she's got going. And we're in the debate of how much more greenwood do we want to sell, fresh cut. We've sold about 65 cord this fall. So if it's gone, we can't be selling dry wood. And to try to get some ahead here, it's just about impossible. They just keep coming for the wood. And we do charge more for the dry wood. We charge an extra $50 a full cord, so on our 100 cord piles that we have, or we try to have, just by letting it set till next summer, we've gained $5,000 in a pile. So the question that we're having is how much more of the green fresh cut do we want to sell, and should we turn customers down that are stopping to pick up the wood? So if you'll leave some comments on what you think on the wood. I know some of the guys sell strictly just dry wood. We try to sell dry wood. Is nice. It's hard to get up here in Alaska for sure. Nobody seems to be able to get wood ahead. So this wood went quick this year. We do have a few what we call emergency bags saved out over here. We use these log lift bags. Here's a little close-up of our Kubota tractor. This is a 52 horse. This is my third tractor. I bought my first new one in 2003, and we put between 500 and 800 hours a year on the tractor here in the yard. We do mowing with it in the summer some. It gets used a lot. Couldn't be without it. So these are some of the log lift bags that we use. They work pretty well. They hold a third of a cord heaped right up. They got to be heaped right up pretty full. But you can see they don't like the sunlight, and they do tear pretty easy. You got to be careful with them. I wish they were built a little heavier. Here in Alaska, they cost us about $26 each to get them up here. Now, if I picked them up, if they're made in Canada, if I could pick them up at the factory when we come through, or there's a couple places in Pennsylvania that sell them, Wisconsin, I can get them down to about $12.50 if I buy them by the pallet. And at that, I could live with those. I guess Jill says, you know, it's handy to come out and grab a couple bags. Somebody needs a cord or a third of a cord or half a cord. We can just grab those bags. It's all pre-measured. Doesn't matter if it's at night. We can set one of those in the back of the truck. So I think Jill is she's in bundling some wood in the garage tonight. Well, let's take a run in, and it's ready for supper. My dinner's ready. Jill's calling. Homemade moose meatloaf, sweet potatoes, and broccoli. Pretty good meal. Stay with us. So here we have a couple fuel tanks. This tank here is 1,000 gallon. We keep our winter mixed fuel in for winter time. And then we have a 2,000 gallon diesel fuel tank, which is our summer mixture. So we like to keep fuel here on the property just because we're 25 miles from town, and the inconvenience if we have bad weather, we have the fuel here. It's just much more convenient. Well, welcome back everyone again. Last night we went in for dinner with our moose meatloaf, and I sat in the recliner and I got a little tired, so didn't get our recording video finished up. So today we're going to explain a little bit about the Samurai, the cost, and it may be a fit for you also if you're cutting up small firewood. So this is the Balfor Samurai 700. It's got a safety control here, and then that pulls down, that holds the log, and then as Joe pulls the lever, the blade comes all the way through, and that's 28-inch diameter blade, so it'll cut a 10-inch log fairly easy. That's about the maximum, and they rate this machine everything in metric.
When this is not being held, the saw will not move. This is their safety for the saw moving, so you have to use two hands.
So it's a very safe machine to use, and it cuts extremely fast, as you've seen in the video. Maybe we can get a clip here of on the last video and stick it in here where you can see Jill actually sawing with this machine. And this is PTO driven. It runs a hydraulic motor, which in turn runs the saw. Now this machine is also available in electric, which would be pretty convenient and also quiet. So if you don't have a tractor, they offer a little power unit for this. This takes about 25 horse tractor to operate, but we have operated this with our old 9N Ford, which is only 18 horse, and it runs it fine. So they have an optional electric motor also. And this machine cost $3,480 last year. They've come up in price a little bit, and they're over in Canada at Equipment Farm Machinery. They're just across the border in Michigan, about an hour or so. And we found out about this machine through Hardworking Man's channel, YouTube channel. You can check them out. They have a couple, 3 reviews on this machine. And after seeing that video, Jill soon figured out that, hey, that's what we need for our small wood. And you know Shifty, he has small wood down there in Wisconsin, so this might be something he'd want to be looking at. So when we get these trimmed up here, we get the notch trimmed off. This spruce is pretty limby. Get it trimmed up and cleaned up. She can run this right through very fast. It's much faster than a chainsaw. And you can take the wood and have it different lengths here. So we have an adjustment on here so you can measure it out 13, 14, whatever you desire, up to 20-inch easy. And as long as you want to handle. We're going to put a table on this machine so we can put longer wood on easier. And actually Jill comes up with a forklift and just has it on the forks and rolls it in, and very fast, very convenient. And for the money, this is quite a machine, really. Saws very fast, and it's got a couple handles here. It actually is not too heavy. It's on wheels, and if the PTO is disconnected, you can actually roll this around fairly easy. So it's just sitting stationary now. We don't even have it hooked up to the 3-point hitch. This tractor does not have that, the old 1949 Oliver. So we just backed it up, hooked the PTO shaft up, and away we go. So Balfor, it is made in Italy, and they're imported into Canada. See if they have a phone number on here for their I don't believe they do. But you can look them up on the internet. So a couple of the complaints that some other people have had is that the little sawdust chute down here will plug up. And it does with bark, but it's pretty small. But also here, it has a 4-inch opening for suction hose. And we took that off just to try it, and it works really well, other than we don't have anything to catch the sawdust yet. Works very well. Easy to maintain. It's got greasable bearings, and you do have to take off this cover to get in here to grease these bearings. But it's only every 40 hours. These bearings turn pretty slow. They don't require a lot of grease anyway. And it's got its own little hydraulic reservoir tank in there for the hydraulics. So again, this is our Samurai 700, made by Balfor in Italy. So we have a few clips. We were delivering wood yesterday and the day before up to Long Rifle Lodge. We have some short clips along the way, some scenic views of the mountains you might enjoy, and also down in Wasilla at the Bearpaw River Brewing Company. We delivered there last week. Got a quick view of the pizza wood oven, and then also the front of the building. Very nice place to eat. Nuska Glacier in the distance to the right there. We're at the Long Rifle Lodge. Out in the distance is the glacier. Very good place to eat if you're visiting Alaska, the Long Rifle Lodge. We just made our wood delivery and we are here for a breakfast pizza this morning. Come on inside and join us. So here's the wood and gas-fired pizza oven we bring our wood down for. It is the best pizza in Alaska. So we hope you enjoyed our video today. In the Alaska Woodyard, we keep the sawdust flying. Goodbye, everyone.